Delta-Xpress is a ready-to-use splint system for the temporary immobilization or stabilization of the wrist joint after surgery or after injuries. For indications where immobilization or stabilization of the wrist joint is required, for example, injuries of the lower arm and wrist, such as fractures, wounds, sprains, strains, dislocations, and burn injuries. Measure the size of the forearm by holding the size scale of the wrist splint to the widest part of the forearm. Choose the correct size of the splint. If desired, apply a stockinette or padding onto the limb on areas of bony prominences to avoid pressure points. Check the length by holding it in the intended final position, where the forearm and the carpals have full contact with the splint. If necessary, trim the proximal side. With a 90-degree flex in the elbow, the space between the splint's proximal end and the elbow crease should be 2 fingers wide. Position the Delta-Xpress splint onto the limb. You can customize the splint if needed. Secure with bandage or the hook and loop fasteners Delta-Xpress straps. In case you fix it with a bandage, start wrapping at the wrist joint. Fix the wrist and work up to the knuckles. Afterwards, wrap from distal to proximal with a 50% overlap of the bandage. While wrapping, ensure that the splint is kept in the correct position. In case you fix the splint with the Delta-Xpress straps, it's recommended to use at least 3 straps, 2 large and 1 small, to fix the splint securely onto the limb. The straps are elastic to ensure a good fit. First, apply 1 large strap at the wrist. Then apply the second large strap at the proximal side of the lower arm. The small strap is applied around the web space between thumb and index finger. Check the tightness of all straps again and adjust as necessary. Delta-Xpress by BSM Medical.